Whitetail Madness, what's it mean? It is a year-round pursuit of those big, beautiful whitetails, to the point that the moment one season ends, we're already thinking about next season.
I tell you, this is just a weekend we all look forward to every year, coming out shed hunting. I say we just fan out and head up this draw right here.
Boy, this is one of my favorite times of the year and favorite weekends to get together with a bunch of my buddies and come out and shed hunt on my farm.
I've always bring my son Adam with me, just have a good time looking for the sheds. He enjoys it. But I tell you, me and him walked up on a site that we didn't care to see. Oh no, Adam, look. Ron, come here. You're not gonna believe this. Come here.
What is it?
We found one of our nicest deer on the farm caught up in a tree dead. And I tell you, it's just a sickening feeling.
The last picture that we got of this deer was about 80 yards, if you remember. That was the last one.
One of our main deer on this farm. One of those you really, really want to see and harvest, but
this is the deer I was hunting this year.
Well,
and I was wondering why I didn't see him.
What a mammoth. Look at the stuff he's getting coming on him. Well, we're gonna call game warden about this. I mean, we need to notify them and see what they want to do with him.
We can't move him until we get a hold of him. Let's go back to you got your cell phone in the truck?
Okay, thank you very much, sir. We'll do that.
What do you say?
He told us not to touch him. They want to come out, look at him and stuff, and they said they'll tag him for us, but they want to see him in the position he's in right now, and then they'll let us remove him from the tree and stuff. Okay. So we're just gonna let him there. They're supposed to meet us tomorrow morning.
And then just remember, you can't sell it. You can mount it. You can take it to a taxidermy now, taxidermist, and have it mounted. But as far as anything else, who's ever laying claim to it, it's yours and yours alone.
You know, it's not the way you want to end your season, but we're gonna make the best of it. We're gonna get this deer out of the tree, and there's not a doubt in my mind I'm gonna get him mounted and put him on the wall in the lodge. And I'm sure we'll be talking about him for many years to come.
The shed hunt has come and gone. We found some results that we really liked, and we found some things that we weren't so happy about. Now, it's time for turkey season. We go all over the Midwest trying to complete Longbeard Madness, but in reality, we're just waiting for the planting season.
My name is John Williams. I take care of the hunting properties for Drury Outdoors. We have a crew here for Pheasants Forever. We're doing a prescribed burn on about 25 acres, get rid of all the old grasses that are here. We're going to reseed it in tall native grasses to provide better habitat for the wildlife. Pretty controlled operation here with Pheasants Forever. You can sort of see what they're doing, and they're burning back into the fire, or burning back into the wind. The wind's coming this direction. They're starting on this end, burning back. They'll get all this burn on this end, and then actually go to the big area and bring the fire across. Pretty neat operation. I've never watched this happen.
We're going to do some food plotting. This is a pasture field that's been in pasture for years and years. John's on the tractor here. We're going to start putting corn in the ground. We've come in and we've burnt it off, and then we reburnt it with chemical. The key is to plant enough food in April and May that when winter hits, and it's that stressful time for a whitetail, they're coming out of the rut, their bodies are depleted. They need as many nutrients as they possibly can. We want enough beans, corn, and Clover Plus, and of course Maximum that we plant in the fall, to winter those deer well. We plant our destination feed fields in preparation for January, February, and March. Some of them are hunting plots, but by and large, most of them are destination feed fields.
The new season begins. Here it is, mid-July. We're heading out trying to get wildlife eye footage. We've been filming them all summer and getting some great growth, but now that the bucks are really starting to develop, you can tell what they're going to become. And they're getting on beans. They're getting off of our clover fields and off of our high protein pellet, and they're getting on beans a little bit. So we're going to find a good place for this and hang a stand.
This year, I wanted to get as much footage as I can of the bucks actually growing their antlers. So we put wildlife eyes on different feed stations and different areas where we thought we could catch some daylight looks at these bucks growing their antlers. The footage we got was awesome.
Jared just headed back to the field. We're getting a stand hung now in mid-July, and then we're gonna go check some other bean fields out tonight. But it's about 95 degrees today. It's a little bit hot, but you gotta do what you gotta do.
All right, it's mid-July now. That stand was put in the tree in mid-June. We're going to put the cameraman stand in. The last time I was here, I ran out of stands. Welcome to the jungle. Let's go to the stand back through this nice little tunnel we got here.
Good night, son.
Come on, Mark. Mark's not as young as he once was.
Haven't you ever heard of clearing a path?
I did.
It grew shut.
This is my path. I've said this a few times, but you literally have to be borderline crazy and obsessed with these whitetails to be out here. 90 degrees. It's the dog days of summer, and we're hanging tree stands.
Get it hung here.
Hang your midday mark.
Now I'm gonna monitor what's coming in and around this feeder as they come from this bean field into it with one of the old prototypes.
Nice little lathery.
Me.
Yeah, me too.
We are living proof that we can melt. Grown men can melt like a stick of butter. God, it's so hot today.
The dog days of summer. It's scorching hot, but it's one of the best times to see giant whitetails. Well, it's getting to be that magical hour here in July. We're on a rising moon. The temperatures have dropped out of the 90s down to about 80 degrees. Hopefully the deer are going to be on the move tonight.
We just crawl into these bales. The reason the picture looks weird is because we've got the doubler on to get better footage. There's a bean field here. We placed these bales here just for this summer observatory. We're going to stand up, south wind in our face, and see what we got. These bales work awesome. They don't know we're in the world. Rising moon, you can't beat it. We're going to go check another field real quick while we still got time. Let's go.
We were going to try a cut and run style. We were going to get out, get after it, check as many fields as we possibly could.
Just checking this other field here. There's a pretty good buck out there.
Nice deer. Let's go.
Those are all bucks, dude. It's a big deer there. Those are some nice deer way out there in that alfalfa field. We got one more spot where we're gonna try and slip in before we lose last camera light. We just spotted our last field. No deer out there, but it was a great evening. That old rising moon and get them out every time. End of a good day.
Well, here it is, September the 15th, opening day of Missouri's archery season, and I couldn't be more fired up. It's hot, it's muggy, it's dry, we're waiting on moisture. A lot of the crops we haven't even planted yet, it's so hot and dry, so we're just waiting for some rainfall. Hopefully we'll be able to get those plots in.
Well, the plan here is to go into these fields where the food pressure has been really, really intense, and as you can see, they've annihilated these beans. If you incorporate the beans back into the soil, it puts a little bit of nitrogen into the ground, and I'm going to try and disc them very lightly. We had that inch of rain day before yesterday, and I'm going to just barely turn the soil because that maximum seed is so small, it should drop on down. You know, you don't have to cover it very much because it's a really, really fine seed. I'm going to try not to disc too many beans under so the deer can continue eating the beans while they're green, number one, and it should break up the soil enough to get the maximum into the ground. Talk about just in the nick of time. We barely got those seeds in the ground. Makes you feel good when you get them in the ground right before rain. That stuff doesn't happen very often. We've been dry all summer, and I can't tell you how needed this rain really is. This is good.
You know, the biologic has been a real drawing card for us, early season as well as late. But September the 28th, it seems to be the food of choice right now.
Let's sit in one of our box blinds. Kind of looking forward to this. And these built for Taylor, Mark's daughter. I'm gonna try them out. Let's see what happens here. I had to rush to get here, but I made it in. The rain has let up and stopped, and the wind's blowing 90 to nothing. We're gonna give it a try here and see. Just out for doe.
September the 28th, I still don't have all my food plots completely done, but the Clover Plus that is come up, it's been lush, we limed it, we fertilized it, and it's looking really good.
I like to sit in a box blind because of the rain. Well, the rain subsided, it's pretty well passed. And this field is starting to fill up. Temperatures are really dropping. Well, we got a pretty nice buck on the field here. He's a 10-point. Really, really good deer. Nice deer. Looks to be 5 or 6 probably. He's a good looking buck. September the 28th. And his neck looks like it's already swollen a little bit.
Been hot and dry, and it's just natural, really, migration for an animal, particularly whitetails, to come off of the ridges and side hills and filter down into a bottom field where it's cool in the evenings. You know, in the evenings, sometimes you can really determine that it's probably 5 to 10 degrees cooler, and you can feel those thermals working. Well, as I was admiring all the bucks on this Clover Plus field, all of a sudden I caught a glimpse of 2 bucks fighting that just clashed. These two got to twisting and pushing and shoving around, and I knew I was seeing a fight of all fights. Well, whenever they locked up, I just knew that that big deer was going to whip that smaller one.
Man, that was awesome. I'm shocked that that smaller buck ran that big buck off. Unbelievable. That small buck is the deer that I've got so much wildlife eye footage of. That's pretty cool. Awesome. Unbelievable. Just goes to show you, you never know what you're going to see when the temperatures drop. And a front has just passed through. All that rain has fell, and they're starting to feel their oats quite a bit. Unbelievable, man, oh man.
Great evening, great encounter. Just goes to show you the pulling power of that Clover Plus. Well, it's October the 20th. You know, we got the food plots in, got the rain we needed. They started to come up. They're absolutely beautiful, lush, green, just the way you like them. Things are really starting to heat up a little bit. I don't know what all this activity's about, but we're starting to see a few deer on the food plots. I've been waiting for the right wind. It's just been hot, it's been warm. We've got a couple of sets that I really want to hop into. Well, the first time I jumped into that one, I couldn't believe my eyes. This huge 170 class deer, there he is in the middle of this lush green biologic field, and I just was praying that he was going to give me an opportunity. Boy, he started to do that growl that we started to talk about a little bit this year. You could tell he wasn't exerting too much energy, but he was checking each and every available doe. Well, right off the bat, we had to give him a nickname. As something as wide and incredible as that is, we nicknamed him Heart Attack Jr. Very similar to a deer that Mark's got on his farm, only his name is Heart Attack. He's the real Heart Attack. I just knew we were going to get a crack at him, coming up the middle of that lush green biologic maximum. Well, the closest he got was at about 52 to 53 yards. And, you know, I just didn't feel comfortable with that shot, even though it was wide open, broadside, quartering away a little bit. I thought maybe, just maybe, we'd get a little bit closer shot at him. As many deer as we're seeing on the biologic, there's a chance that we'll get another look at him.
as close as you can get and not kill one. Magnificent deer, beautiful deer. I just didn't take a crack at him. I thought he'd walk up this field a little further, and he didn't. He followed her into the timber, so dreams came crushing down real quickly. But he's an awfully, awfully nice deer. 160, 165, 70 maybe, I don't know. I'd sure like get him on the ground and measure him. Beautiful buck. So we'll try again on another evening. This interesting. This evening is getting more and more interesting. That was a group of 4 or 5 bucks. All of them really feeling their oats. They're just popping out of the woodwork. Some pretty nice deer, beautiful 3-year-olds, some pretty 2-year-olds that are gonna make. They're still fighting. Coming this way. There they come.
Great deer, another awesome encounter, beautiful buck. I'm just praying and hoping that he makes it through the season and we get an opportunity to look at him next year as a 4.5-year-old. Can't say enough about that biologic. The green lush maximum is just, I guess it's a little more palatable than I thought. There's a lot of bucks coming onto this field.
Obviously, things are happening for Terry. We're keeping track of each other's movement on a day-to-day basis. He's in Missouri, I'm in Iowa. Now I've got to get on some deer.
You got an earpiece?
I got an earpiece, a new one for my cell phone. I got me an antenna that's not working. I'm trying to gain a signal. Looking pretty techy, ain't I?
Yeah, you do. You don't look like a hunter, mister.
High-tech redneck.
Why do I even try?
No good.
Stupid thing.
Truck one to base.
Truck one to base. So much for the antenna idea. I decided to go to a little cut cornfield, and it was a new stand we had hung, and I couldn't wait to get in there, and I felt like the time might be right.
Sure feels like deer season. It's October the 21st. Cold weather has hit. High was right at 50 today. We're gonna go to a new set that I hung. Should be a good evening. Well, here we are. It feels like the first real bow hunt of the year because it's fall. The leaves are starting to fall. The colors are at full peak right now. Typically not a great time to go out and go bow hunting, but this cold air has had some deer on their feet. Terry saw a monster last night. So Jared and I are in a stand tonight.
First deer of the evening is a giant adult doe, and I've got a doe tag in my pocket.
That was awesome.
Unbelievable. Hit the deer good. I was shooting a big broadhead, a 2 3/4 inch buck blaster by rocket, and it put that deer down in a hurry. Might have messed up the rest of the night, but I was tickled to death. First bow kill of the year. Now, it's Halloween, really a bewitching day for deer hunters. It always triggers in and around Halloween. I talked to Terry. I'm gonna go to corn, he's gonna go to green. We're gonna find out where these bucks are heading.
Now we were going down to my old favorite box blind. This box blind is setting in a perfect spot. The deer come out at the northern end of the field and filter right by the blind. And I'm hoping we'll get an opportunity at a shooter tonight. We'll see some deer. The weather's right for them. Somebody's sleeping. It's 10 minutes to 4. It's driving me about half batty because they should have been here by now. I'm getting as impatient as my brother. Wind wears me out. They call for one thing. It is one thing. The moment you get to a stand, you add topography or you add trees, particularly with trees with leaves on it. And it's not what you expect. And it's so critical to the success of any hunt, particularly when you're pushing it. And we're pushing it tonight. That's not so bad, but every once in a while it kicks west, one little kick. And that's all it takes. Weird rack, not difficult. Nice little buck to be out this early. You nudge that doe in, that's what I like. They're starting to feel it, Halloween, baby. Trick or treat, here we go. Hopefully we can see something a little bit more aged. Great rack though for a young deer. That he's gonna be a mega giant someday if he lives. He's gonna live tonight anyway.
Well, it was October 31st. We were on a Clover Plus field, and what was about to happen I could never have expected. All of a sudden, I see this giant body deer. We nicknamed him the Little Bully because he looked like a bully. He was kind of pushing everybody around in the field, but he didn't have much of a rack on his head. He might go 130 inches as an 8-point, but he's got a huge body. Looks like a Brahma bull.
God, that deer's a horse. He's a big body. Boy, we just had an old cow walk onto the field, a really big body deer. He's not got much of a rack, but he looks to be 3.5 or 4.5 for sure. He's a big, big body. Starting to square off with that 2-year-old. 2-year-old didn't want no part of it.
We've been seeing a lot of deer pour onto this field every evening, and tonight was no different. They were just feeding into the clover field, and I thought, boy, what a great evening. We might be able to harvest a doe. That's what I was hoping for anyway.
Boy, he's feeling his oats. He's licking his nose.
He's fending off all these other bucks and really tending a doe. And here it is, October the 31st, and this buck's tending a doe.
Look at that. Boy, is he all running up. Oh man, look at that. Are you getting that? Yeah. That's a first for me. As many years as I've been hunting, all these years, I've never seen a buck top a doe. I've seen them, dogging them, chasing them, nudging them, but that tells you where you're at in your rut cycle right there. She stood down for him, and obviously she's in estrus. And he topped her, so that tells you exactly what's happening. We've not seen much deer movement lately. That's part of the reason. These bucks are locked down with a lot of those does. A bunch of them already come in.
Crystal clear, wide open, broad daylight. I couldn't believe my eyes. Couldn't believe what we were seeing. great encounter, great buck. Unfortunately, he's not one you'd like to see him pass his jeans on because he doesn't have much of a rack on his head, but it's still a fantastic evening, fantastic encounter, and I'm glad that I got to witness it.
You know, when you sit a field like this and you've got wildlife, I have 2 different giants, and I had. All of it was at night, but I got wildlife. I have this non-typical 10. It's a big mainframe 10 with stickers everywhere. And another buck that I call Heart Attack. He's this giant, super wide, unbelievable deer, and they're both in this area. I'm sitting in a stand where I've got wildlife. I have them right here on this field. Both of the occurrences were at night. Will they show up during daylight?
There's a doe coming. She's got a nice 8-point line. Here they go. They're really moving good right now.
Terry and I share notes the night of Halloween. We both saw good movement. Neither of us took a buck, but we know that the rut is just around the corner, and it might be time to pull the new call out tomorrow morning.
November has arrived. It's November 1st, and I couldn't be more excited. It's 30 degrees, it's frosty. I love these types of mornings. The movement in the mornings has not been all that good, but you give them a good frosty morning after a system is run through, and they should get up and walk a little bit this morning. My hopes are high. Things seem to be rocking and rolling. Obviously, the signs are popping up everywhere, and I was with Stephen Parker, and I told him the first shooter I see today, I'm gonna blow the new growler and see what happens.
You know, I've been waiting to see that right there. Not that particular buck. It's just a 2-year-old deer. But the fact that he's out walking and looking indicates that it's starting. You know, whenever the movement flips from afternoon movement, which is what we've been seeing, to morning movement, buck's cruising, which is what he's doing, you gotta get excited about what's ahead over the next 7 to 10 days. Today is November the 1st, and that's exactly what we're looking for, albeit he's a little bit young. We're looking for that, though, because it won't be long. Some older deer are going to be doing that same thing. That's why we're out here, baby. There's a doe that's acting a little squirrely. She's got a year and a half behind her. She's acting a little bit, almost a little in heat. Bigger deer. That's a shooter. That's a shooter.
There. 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 Bingo! November 1st, baby, bingo! You gotta love sweet November. Baby. Oh, man alive. That trips me out so bad. I know that deer so well. He's a big 4.5-year-old deer. Last year, I had that deer right under me 2 different times. I got pictures of him from last year, wildlife of him this year. What a story. And now I got him. What a buck, baby. Yeah, baby. Right here, just point blank, he put on a show. He came in, hit him, I growled at him, and I grunted at him, right to the tree, and I smoked him with a strychnine. I am shaking like a leaf, son. I see a deer, and he has got a big body. Oh, there's nothing like the first time you put your hands on one. Nothing like it at all. Look at that, look at that. Massive, massive, big old buck. You know, I can't really believe that I'm sitting behind this beautiful Iowa whitetail. Beautiful buck. I know the deer from last year. I had an encounter with him one morning, right under the stand, and about 100 yards from here. And then one evening, again out of that same set, had him at about 15 yards. He was dogging a doe, and I actually shot the doe. But great story with this deer. He's 4.5 years old. He has got some beautiful mass to him. His rack is configured just like it was last year, but it grew. And the story behind this deer, I think, really is the fact that we've let this rut develop. We started October 21st, which was my anniversary, because an early season cold front moved in and the temperatures were very cold for October. So we started the process, and we've watched it develop to no movement in the mornings at all, and a lot of movement in and around the food source in late October. Scraping has been very prevalent. We've actually got some wildlife eye of this guy in and around scrapes about, I don't know, 200 yards just here to the south. You know, this guy lived virtually within a couple hundred acres, at least by my knowledge. Every sighting I've had of him, every piece of wildlife eye has been right in and around this area. Sometimes I think the older they get, the smaller their home cores get. And luckily we were in his home this morning. I saw him behind that spiking doe. I grunted at him just a couple times. I growled at him a little bit with the new call. And I mean, he was on a beeline straight to the stand, and was able to make a nice 10-yard shot. Those are the kind you like. And he didn't go 50 yards. Beautiful buck, man. Just textbook hunt this morning. November 1st. I love turning that page from October to November. I call it Sweet November because it is so sweet, and it was sweet this morning. Big, beautiful buck. It's time to go get him hung up, get him tended to. And now I'm rooting for Terry. I'm rooting for the rest of the Drury Outdoors team. We just enjoyed the day, and we spread the news. We told everybody about the luck we'd had with the call. I can't wait to see what the rest of the season holds with the buck growl.
For the last 12 years, I've been rolling out to Southern Illinois to hunt with my best friend, Britt Williams at Shawnee Hills Outfitter.
We're getting ready to go for this trip, and we realized that Halloween kind of falls on the first day of the trip. We weren't going to miss it. We missed it 2 years prior due to dream season and being in North Dakota the year before. We weren't going to miss Halloween this year.
You know, I really just think Greg wanted to make sure he had a whole great big bag of candy. Surely I was right.
We got the candy stowed away, and it was time to get on the road to Illinois.
The lodge is just outstanding. Tucked way back into Wildcat Hills with just a beautiful scenic ride right into camp. That evening, I was up, I was hunting. We were so excited to be in a tree on November 1st.
You know, that first evening really didn't pan out. We saw some deer from distance, didn't get anything on camera. We felt so confident on that spot, we were heading back in the morning.
unbelievable. Shawnee Hills Outfitters, I'll tell you what, man. I've only hunted down here in Illinois for 45 minutes, and we've got a big deer down. Thank the Lord, brother. Thank the Lord.
Obviously, after that happens, we have a lot of work to do, and I actually was able to convince Greg, instead of climbing down, to let me climb behind his bow and give it a shot.
We shot that deer so early that we had plenty of time. We might be able to double up on this day. I don't know about you guys though, but that 2 hours was so agonizing for me to wait there, knowing or thinking I had that deer down.
Greg was sitting there behind me and just begging to get down, so sure enough, we climbed down to go find his deer.
There he is, right there. He didn't go 60 yards, man.
We have had just an unbelievable time here at Shawnee Hills Outfitters. I wish I could say I'd spent a lot of time in the stand this week and really hunted hard, but in reality, Britt Williams, the owner-operator here, put us right on him. First morning, 45 minutes, comes through, put a great shot on this deer. I could not be happier.
I had a lot to do that day. You know, we taking pictures, getting the animal to the processors, getting the animal taken care of.
We just could not be more excited to have our first buck down of this 7-day trip. Now it was my turn.
We got in there a little late. Rick wasn't too happy with that, but I said, we're in Illinois, anything can happen.
He's coming. He's feeding right down in here.
When he got to be about 12 yards away, he goes behind a tree, and I knew that was my time to draw. Well, unfortunately, this buck decided to come right at our tree and stop 5 yards away. Well, I was just waiting for this buck to turn. I'm holding there, I'm falling apart.
I could see Rick was just about the end of his rope. He couldn't hold the bow back much longer.
Well, just then, he decides to take a move, so I knew I had to get that bow back again.
I heard something. I wasn't sure what it was.
Well, I made it about halfway through full draw when my right shoulder decided it was gone. You can actually hear it on the tape. My bow gets about halfway back. Greg connects me just as my shoulder pops.
The last thing I thought would happen would be his shoulder exploding, but that's what that noise was. It was that shoulder giving way.
Well, he took off out of there and worked across that brush field. I kept trying to get my composure together and saying a few prayers about being able to take a shot. I gave it everything I had and actually was able to finally get the bow back under a tremendous amount of pain and was able to get a shot off at him.
Buck in the woods, but that makes me sick. I'd have liked to shot him. He done good. Came right in. I'm sick about that, but maybe we'll get a bigger one. I'm not taking a quarter two.
I got back to camp, ice down the shoulder. It just wasn't to happen in Illinois for me this year.
You know, we were going to leave Shawnee Hills with one great deer. I felt bad for Rick that he wasn't able to get a deer, but we had a great trip at Shawnee Hills, and, you know, we're definitely going to be back there.
Well, we're going to one of Mark's favorite spots, really one of his best spots, in the middle of the timber.
5 after 9, we've made our move. We've got a pretty stiff west now. Should catch deer movement coming out of this draw. We're in the heart of this timber, so we're praying and hoping for a good morning.
Well, he has a moratorium on an 8-point. This thing is 3.5 years old, but it'd score 160 to 170. He's a really, really terrific deer. So every 8-point that I see, I've really got to look at pretty hard because he's one that's hands off. Well, lo and behold, but what do we see? By the time I get my Nikons on him and take a good look at him to determine that he's not the 3.5-year-old, he's kind of out of bow range.
He's scraping it. He's rubbing facing away from us.
To my chagrin, after I did all that calling, the growling and what have you, wasn't long, here come a little buck that walked right under us, but he just wasn't quite what we were looking for.
I think he's 3. I do too. Really nice deer, beautiful buck. But I believe he's a 3-year-old, 3.5. And I'm hunting here on Mark's farm. You don't want to mess up and kill a 3-year-old or you get in trouble. He's gonna be a pretty deer in a couple years.
Wasn't quite mature, wasn't old enough. We were gonna let him go and give him a little more time. Five minutes to 4, so we're running a little bit late. We helped a neighbor today. He killed a really, really nice deer.
This is the deer that Terry was going in after when he killed the 178 last year. This is the deer that we had on the wildlife file on that scrape where Terry hunted last time.
Oh, really?
So we were kind of tickled for him. He's been hunting for quite a few years and hadn't killed a big one. That's probably the biggest he's ever shot with a bow. So heard from Keith Keene, who killed gross score 173 or 174. And then Mark got a voice message from Jeff Probst. Both guys are so happy it isn't even funny. And I'll tell you what, that might be all it takes to break the ice. You know, when 1 or 2 guys start dropping those big ones, boy, all of a sudden they just start hitting one right after another. So we're hoping that'll continue. A little luck will shine on everybody today.
That's that 3-year-old Terry.
Here's another buck that I know he's gonna walk right past me here. And unfortunately, he's just a year too young. This buck is kind of unique in the fact he's got crooked G1s. Both of them lean out a little bit.
Well, if he was 4, he'd been right here. He'd been in trouble. But he's 3.5. He's a Jim dandy. He's gonna make a really, really nice deer next year, year after. He's gonna be a humdinger. How beautiful, crossing that water, getting a drink. That's what you live for right there, buddy.
I didn't mind passing him. He's a great deer. I know he's got a tremendous amount of potential. We're hunting Mark's farm. Hopefully that deer will make it through the season. Another strategy. We tried one strategy yesterday. We're doing something a little bit different today. We're going to a spot in and around a water hole that is surrounded or encapsulated by security cover. And here it is, 65 degrees. It's supposed to get up to 78 later on today. And if they're going to go to any spot on this farm, they're going to go to a water hole. A little secluded spot like that should be pretty productive.
We'll either kill a deer or make it rain.
Well, this thing was built quite some time ago.
John Williams and I built this blind 4 years ago, and no one has ever sat it. So we had to do a little trimming. A lot of brush has grown up.
To try and get the deer used to 2 figures sitting in this blind, they got this crazy idea to put Mark and Terry in the blinds. So they cut them out of plywood, a little figurine, and let them sit there. This has been there for years.
I don't know if this is Mark or Terry. We got 2 guys. These 2 have been sitting in here for 4 years. Nothing to eat, nothing to drink. Look how skinny they are. Look at that. You may think we're crazy, which we are.
This particular ground blind needs a southeast wind. The wind's galing like 10 to 15 all day, and I really feel good about this spot. So I'm filming, looking, just waiting for one of these big Iowa cruising bucks.
We sit there, and we sit there, and we sit there. No bucks.
All of a sudden I look over and I notice Brother Terry doing his very best Rip Van Winkle imitation.
It's one of those long, arduous sits where it's hot. You know, you're waiting, patiently waiting.
Nobody goes to sleep during the rut. I mean, this is crazy.
sleeping most of the afternoon. I've been on full alert, watching. I don't know what the deal is, but as warm as it is, we thought there'd be deer watering almost all day. Nada. Zip, zilch, nothing.
We sit here 7 hours. We don't see a deer. The wind switches out of the wrong direction, and you guessed it, guess what shows up?
Got a look at him, and he finally got all he wanted, and away he went. So that was the end of that sit. Arduous sit, long sit, terrible sit. It literally was the one that broke our back.
Terry's season just can't get much tougher. He's got to catch a break sooner or later.
You know, we spend all season long thinking about the next year's hunt, planning our vacations, getting everything set up. And just here recently, I just switched jobs and wasn't very sure whether or not I was going to get to even come on the hunt. Got to talking to my boss and everything like that and told him it was something I did annually every year. And he's real understanding about it. Give me a few days off just to get to come up here and hunt. And man, I hope it pays off. And I hope I can harvest something, and I hope it's a great season.
When Scotty gave me a call and told me he'd work things out with his boss and he was going to get a little time off, man, I tell you what, I was excited then because we've been doing this together for so long. There's no communication, you know. There's no wondering if he's on the animal, if he's got it framed right, if it's in focus. I mean, we've worked together for so long. We've got so much trust in one another. Man, I was really pumped for the season to begin. Well, short day to hunt. The winds are back out of the south. What you wanting to do? Where you wanting to go?
Now, what kind of question's that? You know better than that.
I know where you're
back
wanting
there
to
to
go.
that pond set where I killed that 146 at last year on the shotgun set.
I've been hearing it for 2 days.
We've been sitting around watching the Weather Channel. I've been up here for a few days now, and the winds have all been changing, switching, doing everything.
Here we are, it's the first week of November, and the rut's just not happening here yet. It's a little warm on us, about 72 today, but we've got a storm moving in.
Finally, we've got the right winds to get back in here and hunt behind the house. We've been waiting on southerly cast, and we've got a lot of good stands hung back there, and we see a lot of great deer out of those stands. And this evening, we're gonna go in and try our luck and hope Lady Luck smiles on us this evening and produces us with something we'll be proud to harvest today.
Just sitting here, watching does. I heard something over here behind us. Turned around and looked, and man, a massive buck working a scrape right on the other side of the pond. Come right around here, checking this other scrape. Give me a 15, 20-yard broadside shot. I drilled him. He fell right up there on the edge of the corn. Yeah, baby.
Man, what an exciting evening. This old boy come in and give us a heart-stopping experience there. We were sitting there watching a doe, heard something in behind us, turned around there, this dude was making a scrape, cleaning one out. Got up, turned around, he come up to another scrape up there, best shooting lane I had, give me a 23-yard broadside shot, and I drilled him. He didn't run maybe 80 yards, fell up here in the corn. Just been a great day to be out here. It's a great day to end the season up here.
Yeah, baby.
Well, it was the 2005 hunting season, and Dave and I, we had some grandiose ideas this year.
On the 5th day of our bow hunt, we finally got the north wind we were wanting. I was so confident in this tree stand that As soon as we got a north wind, that's where I was gonna be.
Come on, Bill, answer your phone. It was such a bluebird day, and I was making such a good time getting to town. My truck was filthy, so I was going to take just a moment, slip through the car wash, and clean her up. Then I dropped it.
Well, when Bill showed up and I saw his clean truck, well, I knew right away, well, where he'd been. Well, apparently Bill found the need to wash his truck, and we're running a little bit late, later than I would like to have been. The stand that we're going to tonight is on a fence crossing. The does will work out in CRP field, but the bucks will hug this ridge. They'll jump this fence crossing, and there's really, by looking at the sign, there's only one place they really like to cross. And we decided to hang a stand on the fence, see what happens. Hopefully it'll be a good night.
It's no exaggeration that he is actually that slow. I about pull my hair out every time I hunt for him.
When these deer come in, they're gonna be right in our lap. We're gonna have to sit real still, be real quiet. I was gonna stand the whole time, bow in hand, because when it happened, it was gonna happen fast, and these deer were gonna be eye level with me coming off this ridge.
I think we got something chasing over here on this ridge.
Smoked him right in the heart. He is down right there, and that is a tank. That's my biggest buck in 4 years, baby. Whew. He's toast. Yeah, baby, give me some. I can't reach him. Give me some, buddy. Woo. Yes! Yes!
What's the most gratifying to me was to pick this stand site out myself, knowing that this is a beautiful fence crossing. I've got numerous pictures of mature whitetails from the summer in velvet on this same ridge, and I knew that this stand site was going to produce.
Well, here he is, beautiful 3.5-year-old. We hunted a fence jump on a ridge, a bluff that deer are cruising just the edge of that bluff, and he did exactly as we planned he would. And come through, gave me a perfect 19-yard shot, hit him right through the heart. The old Cybertech did its job. He will definitely go on my living room wall, I will tell you that. I am one happy hunter.
Well, now that we were done with my buck, it was time for Bill. I was more than willing and happy to sit behind the camera for up to another week and a half if it took.
I know Dave was pumped to have a deer like that in the ground.
Booyah!
I was pumped to be there with him, laying the footage down. We had a lot of time left to harvest our second deer.
What are you thinking about in the morning?
What'd Tim say? South wind? Southeast?
He said southeast in the morning, but I don't.
Well, that stand on that riverbend farm might work. Well, after I hunted on the evening of November 10th, Dave and I were on our way back home. We had a pretty uneventful evening. I ain't looking too forward to sitting in that stand, but I suggested maybe we hunt the riverbend farm. We hung a stand there last year. Actually, we had 2 stands hung there. It's strictly a travel corridor only during the rut. We didn't have a lot of confidence in this stand, but it was about the only one I thought would work with a southeast wind. This year our plan is to hunt this during the rut and try to catch deer maybe channeling down along this wooded strip there. We've had a couple of tough days here after Dave shot his deer. The weather just got terribly warm and we are not seeing the deer. So we thought maybe just for a change of pace, we get out into a little more open area, something where a mature buck might be pushing a doe. I don't know, maybe we'd be surprised.
I did some rattling earlier. We usually try to do that in the morning, do a little rattling, a little snorting and grunting, wheeze, stuff like that, right at sunrise, in case we catch a buck cruising. I'm gonna just do a little glass and do some ranging, stuff like that, and get some points picked out. But then we're gonna sit tight and see if maybe we can't catch a buck cruising, because they are definitely on their feet now.
Well, we didn't see really much anything for the first hour or so, and I was kind of wondering how long Bill was going to want to sit. Well, after about an hour, hour and a half of sitting, our expectations changed in a quick way.
I just heard a grunt. Down here, all right. Back behind us. Down there, yep. I'm gonna grunt back.
Oh my God. Oh. That's 160 incher. Oh. That is my biggest buck ever. Oh. I don't know what to say. Oh, man.
You know, it's one thing to kill a deer like that on a heavily managed farm, but to take a buck like that out here where everybody's hunting.
People think Iowa, and they're like, you know, you're probably hunting private land. Well, 99% of the ground in Iowa is private land. That doesn't mean the farmer doesn't let every Tom, Dick, and Harry on there.
Oh, Dave, he's bigger than I thought he was. Oh, baby! Baby! Woohoo! Look at that! Yeah. We have been wanting to harvest a deer like this on camera for so long. For both of us to shoot two great deer this year. Dave just shot one 2 days ago, a gross 140, probably a little better. And then to come out here, especially when we're feeling a little bit down about the day, we weren't really certain we were gonna see any deer. I didn't have a lot of confidence in this spot, but that's exactly what the rut will do for you. You can sit about anywhere, and all you gotta do is have a hot doe run by. And I had a hot one today, and she just coincidentally had a real stud behind her. Absolute monster buck. Got him loaded up, and it was time to head to town and have a good time the rest of the day.
Wow! Kill it, Daddy! You shot not the big deer! Daddy! Is that the big one you saw?
Well, it's not it's the big one I saw today. Ain't that a dandy?
Yeah!
You guys are probably going to be TV stars now. I couldn't have been happier to have this happen. I was real glad Dave shared that moment with me. He laid down some tremendous footage. It was an absolute positive way to end our Iowa hunt this year.
You know, me and Eric are always excited to get in that truck and get to Kansas, and this year was no different.
Well, this is our first morning in Kansas. It just got daylight. We see a nice buck over here. We're on to my cousin Paul's farm. Right off the bat, we see a nice buck. So this should be a pretty fun morning. We'll see it happen. It's our first day in Kansas. That's our first buck we passed up. Looks like a pretty good buck. I don't know if it's a 2-year-old or a year-and-a-half old, but he is gonna be a giant. He's got like a Thome beam or something growing off the front of his right side. Pretty buck.
So we actually hunted my cousin's farm this morning, didn't have much luck. We come over to this spot here. I told Jason I always wanted to hunt it because it looked awesome. And I asked the lady I didn't before, and she wouldn't let me go. And I figured, oh, I'll ask her again. Maybe she'll be a little sweeter today. And
You know, Eric, he's a smoothie. He just happened to get this lady, talked to him, let us hunt for a night, and boy, it sure paid off.
Big buck right behind you. What? Big buck right behind you. Back on the board. Repeat here. Yes. He died right over there too, baby.
first day in Kansas. I mean, we haven't even hunted in Kansas for 5 hours. I just corked that dandy.
Yes. Yes. That's right here. Look at that dandy. Oh my God. Watch this. I'll grunt start wheezing. I'll grunt start wheezing right in. This spot's awesome.
We couldn't even believe how awesome this spot was. We're gonna get out of the stand, go to this deer. You wait till you see the trail coming through these beans. I mean, this place hasn't been hunted all year. Not one person in 600 acres of solid, nasty stuff. And the deer I shot's a dandy, but I'll tell you what, he's not the biggest buck in this property, guarantee ya. But he can go home to Minnesota with me anytime. What a dandy of a buck. Wow. Well, here he is. I tell you, he didn't run very far, but this farm we're hunting, I tell you, it is quite a magical spot. We hunted my cousin's farm this morning, and we didn't see much, so I come over here and asked the lady if I could hunt, and I knew she didn't let anybody hunting here, but bless her heart, she let me come in here and try to do a little bow hunting for a couple days, and paid off. We come in here and set stands up, and we actually spotted this ravine coming out of this pasture. It's a thick ravine leading into these bottom fields, and we set up in below it. It worked out perfect, like it should all the time, but never does, and it worked out perfect. He come right down the trail and gave me a perfect shot and ran like 60 yards. But we hunted Illinois last week, had a hard time. Now we come to Kansas, and this pumped us up. I tell you, what a dandy. Words can't express what I'm feeling right now. What a buck. That trail I was telling you about, you've got to check this out. This is how I knew this spot hadn't been hunted. It's a sanctuary, because you do not see this. Where you've ever seen a trail come through a bean field like that? You know what happens when you walk in the woods and you see trails like this? Right there. That thing right there is what happens. What a buck.
Here we are, it's the first week of November.
It's been a great day to be out here, and it's a great day to end the season up here.
Well, getting settled in for about a 4.5-hour ride southeast. We're leaving Illinois, going to the state of Kentucky. We first started seeing this little lull or lockdown period that we see. We know we'd be wasting 3 or 4 days up in Illinois, not seeing any mature deer. And when you do what we do, and you got a 3 or 4 week period of the rut, you have to take advantage of every situation, and every day counts. So hopefully we can get settled in, get us a good night's rest, and come out of the gate strong tomorrow morning. Here we are, it's our first morning in Kentucky, and we gotta get our orange strapped on. And if you're bow hunting during the gun season, like most states, you have to wear at least 400 square inches of orange. We've got a southeast wind. We've elected to go hunt a place that we call the Knob. We've had real good success here before. The temperature's good and cool. It's in the 20s this morning, light frost. So I think we're gonna have a good hunt this morning.
It's early this morning, but if that's anything that's a sign to come, we're in for a nice day. It's early, it's about 6:40. Nice 2-year-old deer came in and started working a licking branch. So hopefully we can catch something a little bigger cruising by. That exciting and what? The rut's on. It's just an exciting day to be in the timber, I'll tell you that much, man. That was unreal. Talking about movement this morning, these younger bucks are on their feet moving around. We've yet to encounter a mature deer, but I'm sure if we keep sitting here, sooner or later a 3 or 4-year-old deer is going to come by because they are on the prowl.
Man, what an exciting morning. We've had 2-year-olds chasing does. I mean, just right under the tree stand, stomping at her, trying to keep her attention on him. We seen this buck coming up over here, and I grunted at him with a new growler from Matt. It's twice I've called a deer in with this call this year, and man, he came right in, offers us a perfect 12, 13-yard broadside shot. Feel really good about it. Man, I tell you, what an exciting hunt this morning. It's November the 13th. We're in northwestern Kentucky. We had a couple of young bucks come in on us today, chasing does. I knew if we just held tight that sooner or later a nice buck would come by. We seen this guy about 80 yards from us. We made a couple of calls to him on the new Mad Growler call. Came to us on a string, man. Came in, offered us a perfect 12, 13-yard broadside shot, and the old bluegrass state of Kentucky has been good to us once again.
Well, at least it's not very windy today. We we can't buy a break. It's been yesterday we had a family of horseback riders come through, so I was singing happy trails to Dave.
Well, not only is it like unseasonably warm for November 12th, 60 degrees, I get double whammied because it's so nice. We just had a family of 4 go horseback riding right through the property as we're trying to deer hunt. So at this point, you know, what do? Do you pull up stakes, hit another farm, try to drive a half an hour, 40 minutes to another spot, or do you just sit here and take your lumps? I don't know. I don't know the right answer.
I think the answer is happy trails to you.
That perfect win.
Then it started raining, so we climbed down out of the tree, climbed back up into the tree, climbed back out of the tree. Finally decided, you know, it's just raining, we just need to leave.
Well, first we had the horseback riders come through, parading through, and we kind of endured that. Then it started raining on us, and we sat there for a little while, and you know, if it wasn't for bad luck, we'd have no luck at all this season, it seems like. John and I can't buy a deer, and it's just frustrating.
Well, you know, this year's been a tough year. Every day we're out there, we're thinking, well, it's getting closer, it's getting closer. Tracy.
Coming right in. Dave's still getting in the tree. We decided to come in later.
What? It's quiet.
Yeah, it's really quiet. I hope you have a battery.
I've got one in my bag.
Because you ran this one down to nothing.
I'm sorry. Look, there's batteries in the bag.
I didn't know that it was on nothing.
I know, because that's my responsibility. Here it comes. I got it. Oh, there you go. Money, ready?
Maybe you should just let him go and see if he came over.
You're funny. You're just funny, because you're the one that said, Rattle, do something. And then, oh, maybe we should have just looked.
Well, okay, I was just saying.
I don't think he was spooked by it.
Well, I don't see how he could be.
We're just gonna keep at it, that's all you can do. We've had horrible luck, our horrible luck continues today. You can see it's just horribly windy, but you can't kill deer sitting on the couch, so we're gonna give it a try. So finally we climb up in the stand. You know, we hadn't been there probably a half hour, and all of a sudden I say, Dave, big shooter coming. Well, sure enough, it's that same buck that Dave had missed last year, and he's coming right at the stand.
He came cruising right by, and the camera, I could tell something wasn't quite right. It was trying to lay a signal down, but something wasn't right. So he came to the opening, and I'm like, you know, I pulled John off of the deer, and
I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. What next? So I have to pass the deer. We thought what was wrong with the cameras, the heads just needed to be cleaned. Well, we had a cleaning tank back in the truck. So we decided to climb down, run to the truck, clean the heads, put in a new tape, see if that tape would work, and run back to the stand if it would.
Head's dirty, use cleaning cassette. Sometimes it says that, but it doesn't bar it up, it just...
It's telling it it's time to be clean?
Yeah.
Well, if we kill one now after all this, it's a miracle. It's divine intervention. Almost 3:30 prime time, We came back, put the cleaning tape in, cleaned the heads, and now we're headed back to the stand at prime time. So if by some miracle, with the last hour we have left to hunt, I kill one, it's just that, a miracle. We had been in the stand maybe a half hour, and we only had about a half hour, maybe 40 minutes till dark, and Dave says, "Here comes the big buck." Well, the buck starts to cut us off, and so of course I start calling to him, and he's completely ignored all the calling I was doing. And he started to circle around the stand, around the corner, and I thought my buck was going to be gone forever.
That was a nice buck. That's a nice buck. He's cutting this off. I don't know if he's going to turn and come this way or not. Sometimes they come right up this corner. We'll see what he does. It's the same buck. Is it?
Next thing, I hear a stick crack behind the stand. I look back. Here comes the big buck from directly downwind, coming right at the tree.
How you feeling, John? You're excited, but yet...
Yeah. Once I have my hands on his horns, then I'll be really fired up. I know I'm back a little.
So we're gonna wait till morning?
Yeah, I think it's a prudent thing to do. When in doubt, back out. I know I hit the deer a little bit back, so we're gonna give him overnight. It's supposed to be 25 degrees tonight and clear. So I'm gonna give it the night and come back tomorrow morning and see if we can find him.
Well, here he is. And there's a lesson to be learned with this deer. Unfortunately, I didn't make the best of shots. This deer had worn me to a frazzle, and I had one little shooting lane, and I definitely hit this deer back. And we decided to, when in doubt, back out. So we just left this deer alone, and it was the right thing to do because we found this deer not more than 60 yards from the stand. And this is just an incredible feeling. It's a magical time of the year to be out here and to chase these big boys around. And when you get the opportunity to finally get one on the ground with a bow, it's just a feeling you can't describe. But it's just it's a hunt I'll never forget, and it's one of my best deer ever. And I couldn't be more excited. What an awesome, awesome whitetail. And it doesn't get any better than this.
Well, it's November the 14th. We've got cold air upon us. Things are still looking good. Still hunting Iowa, still on Mark's farm, seeing several big deer. The growling, the grunting, the snort wheezing, the rattling, all that's been pretty effective. We've had pretty good luck and good results calling in big deer.
Love this spot. We could have a little problem with the wind, I don't know. Conditions are very similar to last year when I killed my 178. Same tree, same conditions. Light rain, drizzle, about 40 degrees. It's the perfect rut weather for Iowa deer.
I'm pulling every trick out of the bag that I know how. All of a sudden I see this doe, she's heading right for us.
Bunch of hooks on one hot doe. I tried crawling, and I don't think they're responding. They got a hot doe with them. They're gonna be hard to pull off. That's what we live for right there, buddy. That is action at its fastest pace.
It looked like a bunch of hounds on a coyote. It was unbelievable how they were dogging her. Unfortunately, wasn't able to get a shot at that big deer, but you know what? It was a great evening. All in all, we've got to see a lot of bucks chasing one particular doe, and you know, really, that's what the rut is all about. Truly, that's what it's about when you can see that kind of activity.
We're still waiting for Brother Terry to get on that board, but in the meantime, we get an email at the office from a gentleman by the name of Rich Ball from Tennessee, and he had a story that was unbelievable.
Hi, I'm Rich Ball, and I'm going to tell you about an exciting hunt that I had this year up in Pike County, Illinois on November 14th. The most exciting day that I've ever had in the woods. I was already tagged out, so I couldn't shoot a buck, but I was up there to shoot some does. At about 8 o'clock that morning, I had a nice big mature doe come in, and I was able to shoot her. She ran up into the cornfield about 20 yards and died, so she was laying there about 40 or 45 yards from me. A nice 11-pointer, 3.5-year-old mature deer. He was cruising the edge of the cornfield, and he came upon this doe and started looking at her and sniffing her and walking around her, and then they were kind of behind some trees, so I wasn't able to film him. I was just kind of sitting there holding my bow, watching him, and then all of a sudden I see the doe. She flips through the air. Well, this buck had gotten his horns underneath her and started to gore her, and actually picked her up and flipped her over. And when he did that, he made this unbelievably loud sound, this really loud grunt or growl or groan or whatever you want to call it. Anyway, it scared me. I mean, I jumped in the tree stand. I remember doing that. Within a couple of minutes after that, 2 or 3 bucks came in from different directions, and he started pushing her around on the ground again and goring her. And by this time I was filming, and then one of the bucks came in below him a little too close, and he made that sound like 5 different times. It was unbelievable how many bucks came in. I saw bucks coming from 200 yards away across the cornfield. They came from behind me, they came from the left, from the right, from upwind, from downwind, from every direction. Why did these bucks come in from all directions? They had heard that sound. It's a sound that evidently is a dominant buck sound. It's designed to run off other bucks, you know, when there's competition for does, and it certainly has the effect of bringing in a lot of deer. I don't think I've ever seen that many bucks that quickly. At that point, I knew that if anybody could produce a call that would duplicate this sound, that it would be incredible. It would be revolutionary. I cannot wait to go back to Pike County next year in November and use that call.
So you take the success we've had with the call, you take Rich's story, and it just reaffirms what I believe about the buck growl to be true. It's a very emotional call, and it's an extremely effective call to use, and we are tickled to death at MAD to be the company to bring this call to the marketplace. Hopefully, it's going to help a lot of hunters out in the future.
Tell the viewing audience where we're headed. Tell them what we're up to.
Due west.
Go west, young man. Go west.
West we are, western bound.
All right.
My first time getting after hunt in Kansas. I got to film last year with my dad, and I am pumped. We've had an awesome season so far. My dad killed a great big buck in Iowa, and I killed a real nice buck in Missouri, and now we're heading west. I hear the rut's wide open out here, and I'm really looking forward to getting a tree. I know tomorrow morning it's gonna be cold, and bucks have to start moving, so.
I tell you what, that first morning in Kansas, it was cold. It was real low 20s. We got to where we were gonna hunt. We have a Polaris Ranger over there, and when you know it, the whole windshield was just iced over.
The windshield's covered with ice, so I'm gonna scrape I don't have a scraper, so I'm using a Leanne Womack CD case. Sorry, Leanne. My favorite country singer. Hate to do this to you, darling. The man's gotta get the deer stand.
Rut's in full swing. We're on the same draw that my dad killed a deer out of last year. Same stand, same tree, everything. It gets good and light. I'm gonna bang the horns together. Hopefully something good will happen.
wasn't too awful long, the first buck came by, and he came right underneath us, and just really a good day.
I watched this buck a while ago go past us, got rattled. Like the young deer do, they usually come right back in. That's what he did, he came right back in looking for that horn. Looked up and he was standing here. That's how it is in Kansas. They just appear. It's cool.
I was actually asleep, and my dad was just messing around and was nudging me with his foot, and I woke up, and this big buck was 35 yards coming right at us. He was downwind, actually. They came from where we didn't expect them to, and we actually had the stand sit to shoot the opposite way. I grabbed my bow and I swung it around the stand, and I'm standing there watching him, and I thought, man, how am I going to be able to make this shot?
Got him, buddy. He's going in. Oh my God. Awesome. My bow hit the stand. Dude, I had my bow like this, and the stand's in the way. He turned his head, and I crouched down and drew back. And I slipped in, baby. Give me some of that. Hey.
I make the shot. It sounds like a shotgun going off because this cam smack in the stand. The deer runs off immediately. We can tell it was a good hit. The deer didn't go 65 yards and fell over, and the excitement was on. It was so cold, and you know, I was shaking because I was cold, and shaking was because I was excited, but all in all, it was awesome.
Look at this nice Kansas whitetail. Just a nice, solid 8-point buck. I'm so tickled with this deer. Tell you what, this is our first morning in Kansas, and I'm done. I was looking forward to hunting a few days, but I'll take him. I like him short and sweet anytime. I was fortunate enough, I made a good shot on him shooting a Hoyt Tricon this year, and it's been awesome. I tell you what, I just got it set up. The first deer I killed in Missouri this year, I shot him with an Ultratech, and I just got my Tricon set up, and this is the second time I've hunted with it. So it put a good shot on him. He can go 65, 70 yards probably. Just an awesome day, and now it's time for Dad getting saddled.
We had 3.5 more days to hunt, and I was looking forward to getting back in the stand.
Hopefully we can have some action. Everybody's seeing bucks, but we're worried we're going to hit that lockdown period.
The big bucks just weren't moving. You know, everybody in our camp was seeing young deer and 2.5s and 1.5s, and you know, it was a tough hunt for the next 3 or 4 days.
You know, a nice 9.2-year-old came right through, and I looked up, and as I was filming him, this owl starts coming right at me, and I'm watching him through my left eye. I moved the camera out of the way, and he pitched in a limb about 5 feet from me, so it was a pretty cool experience.
That was hilarious, though. That owl flew in. He lit right here about 15 feet of us. Almost lit on Christopher. We'll probably have to delete what he said. Holy something. But anyway.
What a wonderful season it's been, boy. You know, we both shot the best deer of our life, and one in Missouri and one in Iowa, and now he's got another nice one in Kansas, and we just had a great season, and it's just been awesome.
You know, what do you say about Big Jim Thome? One of the goals that Terry and I had going into this season was to get Jim Thome on film killing a deer. We became really good friends with Jim, and I remember that first day we met him. Jim rolls into camp. He's got this huge truck with these huge tires, and one of them's flat, and we got to go get it fixed.
Busted, I used to ride in grade school, wasn't that big?
Well, Jim Thome came in to visit, and he had his big truck with him, and the wheels are real big, and I guess running on the interstate, one of them bulged out. Now we're trying to get it fixed, so hopefully this gentleman's going to help us out. We go to pay the bill, and something's weird about Jim's credit card. Hey, Jim, you need a loan?
His credit's bad.
Follows you everywhere once you get started with this stuff.
We won't tell anybody about this.
He can't come up with the $300 to pay for the tire. He's gonna have to go in the back and work this out.
Oh, he'll owe us big for this. No gar hole in the night. We're gonna sit in the best spot.
Okay. I'll do that.
He does this everywhere we go. They're our tires. We get to his place, we're taking them off. You ready, big boy?
You ready, big boy?
Thank you. Thank you.
No problem. Come on, man.
Come on, geez.
See, man.
Debacle.
That was just the first in a long list of funny things that happened with Jim Thome.
We salute Mark McGuire. It's so cold. It's so cold. Trying to have Mark warm me up with his greatness. That deer might be tremendous next year, so we're going to go ahead and pass him.
Brad, I'm Terry. Here's Jim. There's three of us in this tree.
We're hunting. We're hunting.
Where's Mark when you need him? Huh? Mark!
We need higher chairs. We can't see out.
Jesus, my head's big.
The stories go on and on with this guy. I mean, everything that could go wrong has gone wrong with Jim. And this year, we were going to change that luck.
Well, let's go have some fun. Well, we finally get an opportunity to go in the blind we want to. And it took us all weekend to do it. So basically, we're looking forward to this. This should be a fun night. Let's go have some fun. To me, I think hunting means a lot. I mean, it's something that I've done as a kid. You know, my father, we were raised hunting in the Midwest, and having the opportunity to own some property and to get out in the woods after especially a long season of baseball is truly something that I enjoy, because it gives me a mental release from the game and basically from life in general. When you're in a tree, you know, you see things that you normally wouldn't see otherwise.
I think there's two of them up there. Oh my God, it's that big buck. Are you serious? Oh, there he is. There he is. He's getting ready to leave. Is he still up behind that tree?
You know, when when horns are coming, you're ready. It's like that one-on-one confrontation. You know, pitcher on the mound, hitter in the box, you against him. Let's get after it.
He's going back on the hill. Come on, please turn around, turn around. Get ready, get ready. I think he's coming, I think he's coming down. She's coming, I think he's gonna follow her. He'll come. Here he comes, here he comes, here he comes. He's coming, don't move, he's coming. He's coming fast. He's coming fast. He's coming big now. Okay. I'm on him. That's it. That's it. You hit him. You hit him. He's going down. Oh my God. You got him. He's down.
Oh my God, he's down. He's down. It's the big 8. It's the big 8. We've been chasing that deer for 4 years. He's down. He's down.
Well, here we are. We've worked so hard for this deer. My brother, I owe this to my brother Chuck. He put this blind up. He's worked his butt off. And Darren and I have been chasing this deer for the last 3 days. We got up early. We didn't hunt this morning. We set some blinds up. We got the St. Louis Cardinal guys coming in next weekend. And, you know, this is just unbelievable. We're going to go get him right now. Let's go. Actually, this evening, I told Darren on the way out, I said, you know, it just feels like, you know, we were going to get a big deer tonight. And, you know, we were fortunate, like I said before. I mean, my brother Chuck, my brother Randy, all the guys that work so hard, you know, in the summertime while I'm gone playing baseball, to be able to harvest an animal like this is just an honor. You know, I mean, this is what we all work for. You know, my time is very limited with baseball and working out and, you know, with a little girl, but, you know, and being home with my wife. But it's an honor to, you know, to harvest an animal like this. It's just great. He'll look good on Lodge 2-5 wall. He'll be right dead center. He'll stand alone. I know there's bigger out there, but you know what? He's great.
Jim's a very dear friend of Mark and myself, and you know, we felt really, really happy for him that he was able to harvest a big animal like that. It turned out to be a fantastic hunt.
Now, we're just a couple weeks away from an event that we're all anticipating. We got a bunch of baseball players that love to hunt, and we've got some hunters that love baseball.
You know, we always enjoy hunting with good friends, and our good buddy Jim Thome was gracious enough to invite us over this year, and he very fittingly named this little event the Big League Challenge of '05. He invited a couple of the Major League Baseball players in, and I know everybody's going to have a good time.
We're going over to Lodge 25 with our good buddy Jim Thome. We've got Mike Matheny, John Mabry, Cal Eldred, and Jeff Murphy all coming in. It's going to be what I hope to be the first annual gun hunt over here at Thome's. A little bit of a drive ahead of us though. Terry's coming over tonight. Everybody's coming 10 different directions to get here.
We got a slight delay, a little delay. We're having a cattle drive. You know you're hunting in a rural area whenever they move their cattle down the center of a state highway. But that's okay, I enjoy that. You know, they're working hard, and it takes all kinds. These farmers are important to, you know, the overall economics of our country. So it's pretty cool watching them and seeing all that go on. There they are, the whole herd made it in the barn lot. The welcome sign was out. Welcome Drury Outdoors and Major League Baseball. It was really a neat feeling to see that big old sign when we pulled up. That was all courtesy of Jim's brother Chuck. Chuck's one of those guys that doesn't forget about everybody else. He's very thoughtful.
We roll into Illinois, and obviously Jim's already got his buck down, and we're tickled to death for Jim. It is absolutely a giant 8-point. Boone and Crockett Class 8, and everybody's anticipation is high.
Well, there's one thing about a hunting camp. When you get some Major League Baseball players together, and then you get a couple of hunters thrown in the mix and a couple of editors and videographers, there's going to be some fun going on.
Ready? Wait a minute, which is the hunters? These are the hunters. Camera, hunter, camera. Ready? Be fair. Turf. Woo! Turf. All right, who's the lucky camera guy?
Unlucky camera guy.
Matt T.
Woo! Outstanding. Sorry, Matt.
Outstanding.
Mabry. Oh, here comes the winner chicken dinner right here. Who's the lucky man?
Steven. There you go.
Yeah,
I don't want you guys talking too much.
Yeah, keep it down.
Matheny. Darren. He's had the hot hand this year.
You didn't put me in there?
Me and you,
I'm
D.
sitting here with bated breath.
I thought we were
I've
going
been here for
together.
30 years, man.
You want to redraw?
Do over. No, that's fine. That's fine. I'm sitting here just anxiously waiting to see who I'm going to go film.
Well,
I wasn't even in the draw. Okay, so here's the plan. I'm on camera, Jim's our guide, and Terry's the shooter. This ought to be interesting. We're getting out there, we're jacking around, we're a little bit late, and when we get there, we decide to sneak down this ditch because there's probably deer in the field, and there were.
Remember me saying there's gonna be deer on this field? We're late.
There's this huge oak, and Terry and I say if we can get to that oak, man, we'll have a great view of this field and everything will be within gun range.
It's 3:45. I'm surprised there's deer on this field. Well, let's get dressed when we get to it then. I love this. Well, here we are. There's already deer on the field. They're on the beans. We're gonna go ahead and slip our clothes on. We got the wind in our favor. We're gonna try and get to that big oak, slip up over the top without spooking them. What do you think will happen? You guys do this for a living. I know we usually screw it up.
You're dressing for Antarctica, aren't you?
It's cold.
I know.
Are you pumped? We're gonna get brother on a deer. Spot and stock. Look at him right now. Look at him. He's old and he's slow. Look how slow he is. Look at his age. His age really helps him here. He's all stove up. Kind of arthritic.
commando mode at this point. The panic button is officially pushed. Giant 8-point, probably 170, 180 Class 8.
Now there's a bunch of does on this field. I mean, there's I'm ready. Shoot him again, you missed. No, you missed. High both times. Well, I got but one thing to say. It's just not meant to be this year for some reason. I don't know what. Man, have I had trouble this year. We'll get him. We'll get you on him. Ah, it's just this deer running. It's just not meant to. It's not meant to kill one this year for some reason.
You literally could have knocked me over with a feather. It was like taking the wind out of my sails. Another miscue after a long, long, arduous season. It's been tough.
Well, I'm speechless. I really am. It's. Jim, you ever been in a slump?
I was in one last year.
The last slap in the face. It's just what I needed for the rest of the end of this season. God, dog. What a rough year. I'm batting way, way less than my weight. About $1.25, $1.05. I think he's sad.
Good man right there.
He's the best.
Good man. I love him like a brother, like you. You guys are the best. We'll get him one. We'll get him one, I promise.
Yeah, what do you say? Terry's having a rough year, the worst one ever. Best one for seeing giants and the toughest ever to close the deal. I felt really bad for him at that point.
Well, it's a new day. They've convinced me to try it again. Now I'm using the Thompson Center, a little bit different. I've got the firearms of choice.
Time to go to the range. Let's find out what's happening here.
battle is on. They just think they were gar-holed. The battle is on. We just need to find out which guy did it. There's gonna be some shenanigans going on, and these guys are the best at it.
It's gonna fry. It's gonna roast. What's going on? I'm gonna take one of those. God, he's gonna fry. Oh, look at that sauce.
From what we've gathered and the stories that have been told, these two guys have been culprits for a long time picking on old Murph.
Oh, make sure you hide your water.
Don't you have to get all the spices off the top?
Yeah, we're gonna get rid of these. He's getting new buns. He's getting new buns.
I would love to see his facial expression when he takes that first bite. Yeah, I think this is a pretty commonplace for Mike and Mabes. They do that to Merle.
There you go. Oh, shit.
Murph, you ready?
Yes, sir. Let's go.
Mike Matheny and John Mabry are two of the culprits that like to pick on old Murph, our buddy. And the sandwich routine was one of the tops that I've seen.
These guys are brutal.
We're the first ones out today. Everybody else is lollygagging and shooting their guns, trying to make sure they're on. Matt and I decided to get out here, bring a couple steak sandwiches, and see if we can get something done today. Gotta head home tomorrow morning. Tomorrow's my anniversary. Can't stay gone from that.
That's money.
That's it.
All right, that's money. Sure, have at it, buddy.
Oh, I'm good right now.
No, you are not.
I swear to God, I'm full from. I ate right before we came in. What's it taste like?
Hot peppered deer meat.
Is that what it tastes like?
Mm-hmm. Mm. That's heaven. I liked it. Only one thing that sucks about this.
What?
I forgot my water.
Oh, that's. Is it hot?
No.
It's not hot? Do you guys play a lot of pranks on each other on the road?
Oh, yeah, there's a few pranks here and there.
Only Murph could devour something that spicy and enjoy it. You know, when John and Mike pulled that little caper, I think they were expecting more of a reaction out of Murph.
This is good stuff, though. Wow, these are good.
There's 3 of them. There's 3 altogether. You look like somebody did a nose job. Oh, this is awesome. Ready? This is nice. This is real nice. Oh, I like this stuff. You know how they say in baseball, I live for this? I live for this stuff. Yeah, it's been about 5 years since I killed a deer. My son doesn't let me forget about it at all. Now it's all started over again. You gotta start somewhere, right? Might as well start with a doe and help with the management process. Come on, girl. I'm gonna take you back.
Well, good day had by all. You know, Murph harvested a doe. He devoured the sandwich. Mike and John were happy because he ate the sandwich, and Murph was happy because he was going back with a doe. All right, time got down to where it was a little bit of a more serious moment.
Tonight was about something different. Jim had a surprise for Cal Eldred. Cal's been in the big leagues for 13 years, and he decided to retire, and Jim threw him a dinner fitting for a veteran.
You know, we have a pretty special opportunity here, because you know what, this is really a huge blessing to be able to do what we do. Yeah. You're here, you know, so, and what I am very thankful for the relationships. You know, I've got some new ones, you know, nurturing some old ones, and and getting some new ones, and I think that's really special. And you know what, Jim? Allowing us to come here and do this really helps those things to happen. So I thank everybody for coming. That's awesome. Thank you.
We're ready for round 2 with Terry. Again, I'm filming. He's up to bat. We're taking a muzzleloader. He only gets one shot. He better make it tonight.
It's time to go. It's time to get 20 after 2. We're late.
Seriously? We gotta get rolling.
Get in the truck and don't touch the radio. Well, Mark and Jim convinced me to go back into that spot, and they thought by some outside chance that buck may show back up.
See y'all. Good luck.
Good luck.
Shoot straight, big boy.
We're late.
We are late. Yes, we are. We are.
I know we are. We always are. Weather was right. Winds out of the northeast. We're going to get in there a little bit earlier this time, though.
We just circumvented a black cat. I wasn't about to let that cat walk in front of my path, so I went around her.
We got around it. It did not cross us.
It did not cross my path. I got around that cat.
Back on path. Now.
Our buddy Jim Thome was kind enough to allow us to come into one of his best spots on his farm. I missed a giant here the other night, 2 nights ago. And I was sick, I'm not kidding you. I've had an up and down year. It's what we do for a living. May seem like it's easy, but it's not. So, elected to do away with the slug gun, now using a Thompson Center. And we sighted it in, got a good group at 100. I got a rest, a stick. So, all is good. Hopefully we'll see a Jim Dandy here tonight. Or a Jim Thome. Or a Jim Thome. Got a chance of snow tonight, so they should move pretty good. Oh, there's deer back in the timber. Way in the back. Oh, there's a year and a half. Looks like a year and a half old buck and another doe. Oh, there's another buck. Oh, that's a good one. I can't tell. That looks like it might be a shooter, but I'm not for certain. He's got his head down. He's feeding back there. Oh, there he is. There's a boy. There he is. That's him. Oh, he's definitely a shooter. He's a shooter. Yeah, that's a giant.
Yeah, stop him. Oh,
He's done. Thank you, Lord. Oh, I can't tell you what a tough season it's been. Oh, God. Thanks to Jim Thome and his mother Joyce, who's been looking down on us, I finally ended one of the worst seasons I've ever had. I heard him crash. He's down. He's a giant. It's been a year of turmoil, I promise. And I think we just broke the ice. Thank God. Thank God. I'm elated. Yes, finally. Finally.
Finally ain't the word for it. Good job, brother.
Thank you,
Thank
brother.
you, buddy. That was fun, man. It's a good kill, too. Full frame, smashed it. Boom. Huh?
Well, it was always one of my dreams to harvest a deer in the snow, and as luck would have it, today was the day.
I'm the luckiest man alive. You ever heard someone say that? Here he is, right here. Look at this. What a tumultuous season I've had. It's been an absolute roller coaster. No one has had more opportunities at big deer and has seen bigger deer than I have this season, and I just could not close the deal. It was absolutely driving me bananas. Driving you mad, I guess would be the best way to say it. But this buck, thanks to Jim Thome, Chuck, Randy, his dad, his whole family, has been so gracious and so kind to allow us to come in and hunt one of his best spots. I can't say enough. I can't say thank you enough. And they don't realize how much this means to me. It's just has been a really, really long season. And I've had bad luck all year long. And the old Thompson put it on him. He didn't run, I don't know, maybe 60, 70 yards. Fell over, big 4-year-old, big body deer. I've always wanted to kill a deer in the snow, and by golly, it's coming down now. I just can't say enough, and you don't realize how much this means to me.
Snow falling, it couldn't have been any more beautiful.
I was so happy for Terry at that moment. Let the celebration begin. Get this deer back to camp. We can't wait to show everybody. What an awesome night. Everybody had a good time, and we were sharing a camp with a bunch of good buddies, a bunch of baseball players that like to hunt, and a bunch of hunters that love baseball. What a great combination.
Well, what a way to end a great time with good friends. Everybody had a lot of fun. Closed it out with a few kills. Murph went home with a doe. I was able to harvest a buck. Good friend Cal Eldred also was able to harvest a really, really nice deer. And I know Jim was happy, and all we can say is thank you to him because he was so gracious and so kind to allow us to do that there in the great state of Illinois.
You know, September, it's about food source. October, it's the pre-rut. November, it's the rut. Deer are chasing everywhere. But when it comes to December, it's about cold temperatures and it's about hunting a food source. December in Iowa means gun season. And gun season means the tradition of deer hunting. Coon Dog's coming up. He's got a tag. I'm gonna film him. Keith Coon and Jake Wilson, our country boys from the Biologic Challenge last year, are coming up, and Jake's got a gun tag.
Oh, yeah.
What did he just do?
He rubbed Troy.
Let me see that thing.
Show him my good luck charm.
Troy boy, 3 Super Bowls.
You should carry a picture of your wife or your daughter.
See his head?
Taylor don't even carry a doll when she's deer.
This is when Aikman got knocked out when he got the concussion by the Washington Redskins.
So you put a piece of tape on his head.
Plus my dog chewed on it. If he kills a deer tonight, you'll be sorry, though.
Everybody's in camp. We're having a good time. There's still snow on the ground from last week, but the temperatures are warming up.
We got deer all over us. This is gonna be so cool. I've been waiting for this for 3 years. Not last year, but 2 years before I had to take 2 does, which was great. And then brought my chance in for a buck, so now I'm carrying a buck tag in my pocket. Did I forget to tell you I'd like to take 3 does? Okay, Terry.
The first night in the stand, Rod and I are sitting there, and deer were doing just what they were supposed to. They started coming out into a standing bean field, and boy, were we excited.
Man, this is deer hunt paradise right here. We got standing bean field, snow on the ground, about 10 inches of snow. It's warming up a little bit, but we just got here. We already got a bunch of deer in the field. Nice, really nice young buck, so this could be an interesting evening. We ain't gonna be doing anything with those deer.
We saw a lot of different bucks. but the mature bucks just weren't on their feet. But when you're seeing those racks, when you're seeing 2- and 3-year-olds walk around, it's still something special.
First night up to bat, tell you what, we had an awesome night. 40 deer, at least 20 of them bucks. I'm glad we're in here, not in a tree stand. It'll be real cold. Good luck getting out of here. We're gonna be like ninjas.
Don't get that Troy Aikman doll out either.
You better rub that on him, though.
Rub it on that head, baby.
Having Keith and Rod in camp also make it more fun. Everybody's joking around, giving each other a little trouble.
Your brother Terry told you to start being nice to me. I called him one. Just film somebody else. Well, wouldn't you know it, that night a low pressure system hits, it warms up, the weather just turns crappy. You know, we go out the second night and just did hardly see a deer.
This particular field, Mark had scouted the week before, saw 70 deer in it one night, 4 shooters. We sat there that night and saw a total of about 10 deer. The oldest buck was 1.5 years old.
We think about possibly switching our luck up just a little bit.
Keith will probably tell you it's because I was starting to get crabby, but the reality is Mark had the idea of switching cameramen to see if that would change up the luck.
I don't know if I like being on this end of the deal or not. You got Rod and Keith arguing and fighting because they're not seeing no deer. All of a sudden they decide they want to swap team members. You know, here I got Mark, the stud filmer, stud hunter. Now I gotta sit here with Keith. So who's the winner here? Me or Rod? I think Rod's winning.
Hey, I don't like that interview.
They said you had to make it believing.
Well, you don't have to cut your cameraman down.
Rod's complaining, not seeing no deer. He's crying, he's moaning. I mean, it's typical bad weather, but I don't know, he's blaming it on Keith for some reason. That better?
Hey, that was better.
Now Rod to see that and he'll get mad at me.
It's the last night of my hunt. It's been really bad up here. The weather's set in, but I'm excited. 2 reasons. One, found out this morning from my wife that I'm gonna be a daddy again, so I'm hoping that changes my luck. And the second thing, we decided to switch up tonight. I'm looking for a change in the winds tonight.
You got rid of that lead anchor, didn't you?
Definitely.
And as we got closer and closer, I noticed some movement out in the field. I got Mark's attention and we dropped to a knee, and when I put my field glasses up, to my surprise, there was a large-bodied buck out in the field.
Now it's time for a fire drill. We've got to get in position, our heart's racing, the emotion's high. We've got to try and take this deer, and we're going to use the blind as cover.
Unbelievable. It's awesome. This was my last hunt of this trip to Iowa. I was depressed. The weather's been so dang nasty and the deer haven't been moving.
You know what deer that is? That's the deer Terry had the encounter with there in the rut, in that bean field.
I know he's got beautiful sweeping beams because he was making me shake every time he looked up at me, and I'm looking at him through the scope. I'd shake a little bit more. Thanks, cameraman.
Hey, you finally got rid of Keith. It took us 5 minutes.
Keith, you guys seen anything?
I just want you to know that you're fired.
It's just my luck, but you know, I couldn't be more happy for him. I just wish I was there to share it with him. Here I am, sitting in his ground blind, not seeing anything but pheasant run around.
Looks like he's got pretty good spurs.
And Rod's sitting there rejoicing on the nice deer he just killed.
Please don't be.
There he goes.
Don't do this to me.
He made it across the creek. Look at this. Where he went across the creek, the blood going across the ice. How deep is that? Apparently that deer doesn't weigh 230 pounds. Well, he's got 4 legs, but he didn't break through. Hey, Mark, here he is right here, man. I knew he couldn't be far after going up that hill. Oh my God, look at this deer. Wow, what a big deer. We came in here tonight and I just felt that my luck might change. I called my wife this morning to start off the day and she tells me that we're gonna have a new little baby, and I was so excited I told her it didn't matter how this trip was gonna end. I hadn't been seeing deer, but that made my trip. Then Mark decides we're gonna switch up tonight. I've been going with my cameraman Keith, and it took 5 minutes. We weren't even to our stand, and this absolutely beautiful 8-pointer was standing out in the field already feeding. Man, am I tickled to death. He's just a beautiful deer and just capped off a great year for me.
Hey! Oh yeah! Oh, look at him! Congratulations, man! Now you'll be in a good mood finally.
For the ride home.
Congratulations, buddy.
There you go, baby.
Good job.
Against all odds, the way the weather had set in, the deer completely shut down. I had harvested a great 10-point buck, and at the same time on the same trip found out that my wife was pregnant with our second child. It couldn't have went better.
I immediately went in and I said, "Where's the knife at, boys? I'll gladly help skin this deer out." It was just a great moment after the rough week we had.
Jake and Keith, they depart. Now it's just me and Dog, and we've got cold temperatures on the way. Again, the deer start to parade out. They're all coming out of their beds. They're coming to this food source.
Oh, Lord. We just had a real nice buck step out. He's out there amongst all those stones. I'm telling you what, he's real nice. I think he's the nicest deer I've seen so far on stand.
Night goes on. Didn't see the buck we wanted to see.
It was that Friday, 7 days after I got here. Mark, at lunch, said, "We're gonna get one tonight."
Little malfunction with the blind.
How about your shotgun, Dog?
That way, if it's off and I miss, I'll blame you for bouncing around in the back.
Oh!
You always gotta be thinking if you miss.
We're going to a beautiful bottom bean field, and we're going to an Ameristep brick house. It's special for me to go film with Coondog because he's such a close friend, and I really enjoy the excitement that is in his heart and runs through his veins every time he sees a buck.
Oh, wait a minute. There's a nice buck up there in the timber. He's coming down the field. No, he's coming, he's coming, he's coming. Don't move. He's coming right at us. We can't shoot him. He's missing his G1 on the right and the G2 on the left.
Well, at that part, my heart sunk again. I thought, oh no, here goes another night.
It's 3:15 and they're already on their feet. That's a good sign. This isn't an hour early, so this is great.
It was about 4 o'clock, 4:15, and a giant made his presence known.
Oh, real nice buck, real nice buck. I gotta get my composure, man. He's right there. I can't look at him. If I look at him, I get nervous. Oh, he's real nice. Take it easy, take it easy.
deer bounds off. I thought he missed. And then that deer, ears droop, hunches up just a little. Reload, reload, reload. Reload, reload. He's going down. He's going down. You did it! Is he down? He's down, baby! Oh. Oh my God. I'm sure. Oh, Mark. This is why I became a Drury Outdoors team member right there, man. Right there. Because guys like you and Terry stick by me, man. God. God. Ow. Baby. Oh, yes. Mark.
He's a giant, buddy.
Oh, man. Oh, I'm stressed. I'm stressed. That is what I love about hunting with Coon Dog. He's the core of what the American hunter should be all about. It's why we're out there. It's why we do what we do.
Yeah. Wow, what a rush, man. I'm pumped, man. Oh, doggy. Oh, dang it. Oh, yeah. Pow, baby, pow. When you have an animal of that magnitude step out and you harvest it and your heart's up to your throat, oh, it's words just can't explain it. You gotta be there. You gotta be able to feel it. Oh, yeah, baby. The people that don't get to experience this, I feel sorry for them. God, no way. No way. Oh, man. Look at this horse. Wow. This is what hard work, and it's hard. It's just hard for me to talk right now, let me tell you. I mean, you know, this is my, been 4 years since I harvested a buck up here. I'm on a management program, so I shot 2 does, and last year I didn't draw a tag, but this year I drew this buck tag, and I tell you what, I was pumped. If you can remember the last doe I shot, I even said it was gonna be like Christmas for me. And buddy, this is my Christmas present. And I just wanna say thanks to everybody. I mean, all the Drury Outdoor team members, they all knew I drew an Iowa tag, and I swear, every one of them told me that I was gonna kill a big one. And they were right, man. And I did. I just want to say thanks for all their backing. Because I tell you what, man, it means a lot when the team sticks together and they all pull for each other. And boy, this is more than I can expect. I'm one happy, happy hunter. Golly. And oh, it's just awesome. Whew. Thompson Omega, baby. I tell you what, they shoot like a rifle. Wow.
What a fantastic week of hunting. We had so much fun together. Jake kills that big 8-point, 145 inches. Then Coon Dog tops him by 2 inches with a 147.
Hunting by yourself is something, you know, but when you get into camp and you're hunting with all your buddies and all the other team members, I tell you what, it puts another aspect on it. Friendship, man, that's what it's all about. You gotta have friendship.
And there you have it, the end to another season for Drury Outdoors. We love doing the Whitetail Madness series because it's a reality journal about who we are as hunters. We like to open up our season, invite you inside, and show you all the highs and lows to what we go through each and every year. We hope you enjoyed it. As we always say, we created it for you. Thank you so very much for supporting Drury Outdoors.